It is Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We are here every single Thursday, 8:30 p.m. sharp, unless otherwise noted. Today, we're talking about how to write a product launch video script. A lot of mouthful, but I think it's so important to have the right thing in your script ready to go so that when you sit down, when you record your VSL, when you record your product hunt video, whatever it may be, you sound clear, you sound educated, you sound articulate, and then at the same time, besides all those points, that you get your customers to say yes. You get your customers to watch the script, understand what you have to say, and go, huh, that sounds pretty good. I think I need that. How do I find the download button? How do I add to cart? How do I download and purchase this today, right now? All thanks to your video. And it's all starts with the video script that we're going to go through today. Okay, we're going back. Here we are. How to script your product launch video. Let me make sure I can still see my chat. Can everybody see? Okay, Mike is here. What's going on, Mike? Welcome. I got to see what it looks like. We've already lost 3 people. People have dropped out. Okay, whatever. How to script your product launch video. The goal today is to write a product launch video that delivers your message in under 90 seconds so that cold traffic understands your product and hits the download button. Who this is for? You're watching this right now. This is for founders who are ready to launch, for example, on Product Hunt, or they're ready to do just an independent launch. They want to launch it on YouTube. They want to launch it on Twitter. We're going to create a script for Product Hunt for your product launch, and then you're going to learn how to do this in the next 30 minutes. Let's get it. If you guys haven't met me before, this is the first time you're watching, my name is Jordan P. Anderson. I'm the creative director here for Nice Slice Studio. I work alongside my co-founder, Doran McCormick. He's our post-production supervisor. I handle the kind of front of house. He handles the back of house. Together, we've generated over $50 million for our clients, 200-plus launches, and he and I have written, edited, produced 1,000-plus scripts. Everybody see that? I'm like a little tiny guy at the bottom of the screen. I don't like that. Let me go see how that looks. To still be visible for you guys. So the 2 scenarios that you're facing right now is 1, no one cares about your product. No one knows who you are. No one understands what your app does. And 2, no one is buying. Maybe because just the fair fact that, hey, no one's buying because you haven't launched it yet. No one knows about your product yet because you've kind of been keeping it under wraps. You've been maybe in monk mode for a while. What's worse is you're getting traffic, but your conversion rate is abysmal. People are reading about your app, but no one is converting because they don't see or they don't understand the value of your product. So they're landing on your page. Maybe you already have a video. Maybe you've tried to do a VSL before, and they just don't get it. They don't understand what they're looking at, and so they just kind of blow on by. So you're working so hard to get that traffic to your site, but no one's buying. So your first thought, for a lot of founders out there, is we just need better features. So you dump more time and energy into building a more complex feature. And this is a trap. This is the feature trap. And an eternity later, you're like, hey, we're going to launch this month. And you go, actually, we need a little bit more features. We need a little bit more because it's got to be just a little bit better. You launch on Product Hunt with your new app, and it looks something like this. It's a cluttered mess. It is, you don't really understand what you're looking at. It's just jumbled together. And you get 0 votes on Product Hunt, and these are all your new features that you put in, right? That's what you wanted to do, add some new features. And again, you're stuck back at square one where nobody cares about your product and no one buys your product. Your customers need clarity. That's what they really need. And because this all comes back to understanding your app, maybe you are just not communicating to your audience the right way, or something's just not clicking. Something's not bringing it home. So how does this solve your customer's problem is the best, easiest, root 1 question. And not just kind of like the on paper of what it solves, but you have to go what we call like these 7 layers emotionally deep. And it's kind of asking, you're asking kind of why to the customer over and over and over, like, well, why did you do this? So like, why do you have this problem? Why is this a problem? Why is it that? It's just like keep going deeper and deeper and deeper. Then it's like, it's down to like, well, I want to make money. Or it's like, okay, why do you want to make money? It's like, well, I want to have my family feel safe and secure. Like, oh, okay, now we're getting like really deep with this. You kind of have to figure like, what note is it hitting? Or asking like, what note is it hitting with your customers? And yes, video can provide that clarity. That's the power of video. You put a video on your page, you don't have to put anything else, and it does the selling for you. And that's kind of even with like Product Hunt, their bread and butter, or the main way that they sell, is through just adding a great video, and then people say, hey, I've seen enough, I understand, and they hit the download button. But if you look at the Product Hunt winners, if you go over there, and it's not just Product Hunt, there's plenty of other launched directories, they don't all have videos. Some just have slides, and some of those get blown away, or some of those just kind of get breezed on by a lot of the customers that could have been your buyers. They assume, so assuming you're not this person, assume that there's some of the winners out there. Well, Jordan, they don't have videos. I don't need to write a script. You do need to write a script. You're here because you need to write a script, and I'm trying to win you over that you need to write a script before we get into the details of how to actually do it. You need signups, you need revenue, and assume you don't have VC money. So let's cover this before we start building. We got to kind of cover some of the 3 common video mistakes that I see with a lot of founders. I've got 10 scripting mistakes at the very end that we're going to cover. The first mistake is that you were unclear about the problem being solved. What are we solving? Who is it for? And do they even care that this is being solved? It might be something, it might be a problem that your customer has, but it might not be a bad enough problem or a worse enough problem or something that they can just kind of deal with and not care. You understand? So do you understand what problem you're solving? And is it a problem worth solving? Mistake number 2 is unclear about which feature to lead with. You have been in the development, you coded this yourself, or you've worked with your co-founder to develop this, and you guys have this personal attachment to everything that you've built, and everything is special, and you didn't do something just willy-nilly. You did it for a reason. You built this feature. They have to have this so that they can have this. Like, everything makes sense in your world. But when it comes to promoting and talking about your app, your customers can't just look at the entire grocery aisle and say, here's everything that you need. They go, okay, just like, what's the one thing? What's the most important thing? If I'm talking to my grandma and I just have like 10 seconds to explain this in the simplest way possible, what's the one thing that your app does that is cool, that is badass, that is your secret sauce, and that solves that main problem that you were trying to work on? It's impossible. When you're writing a 90-second video, a 60-second video, you can't cram everything in there. You can't talk about every single feature. You have to really distill down, condense everything down to make it make sense for your customer. Make it as simple, coherent, and memorable as possible. Like, the memorability is pretty easy, because if you just lead with one feature, one main feature, and your friends go to talk about it, your friends go to ask you about this feature or recommendations, it's very simple. You can say, oh yeah, it's about this. It does this. This is the cool thing about it. Mistake number 3 is being too cool, aka I call it the Super Bowl problem. You get in your head like, hey, there's all these great video editors out there. There's all these great animators that I could hire to work on my video. And it's got to have this cool, sick factor. We've got to do full screen, green screen. It's got to be like just look badass. Like we got to make it look like one of the most famous startup video production studios is Sandwich Video. And go look up Sandwich Video, like Sandwich Video Slack, Sandwich Video. What's one they did recently? Wistia, maybe. They do these huge startup brands, and their videos are great. They're badass. They're comical. They're high production, and everyone thinks that they have to, with their startup, we got to look like that. We've got to be over the top badass. And a lot of times you don't have to do that. Your customers aren't looking for this huge Super Bowl fanfare bonanza. They're just looking for a very simple, hey, do you solve my problem? How do you solve my problem? Can you solve my problem? Great. Like, it could just be a Loom video. It could be the most simple, basic iPhone webcam video. But as long as it's compelling and explains the problem and wins people over, you don't need all the fluff. You don't need all the editing effects and transitions and drama that comes with these big, highbrow design, creative agency videos. You don't need that. And it's often a waste of time, and it's often a waste of money, more importantly. And with your budget right now, or if you're just launching, you need revenue, and you don't need to waste that revenue on some big over-the-top video that doesn't do it justice, or doesn't bring in revenue, really. Like, okay, cool, a great-looking video that brings in revenue, fine. A shitty video that has low production quality but brings in the same amount of revenue, I'm going with saving my money. So, a quick overview how we're going to craft this script today. We're going to do 3 steps. So, the logic emotion matrix, we're going to do the 60-second problem close, and then we're going to do something called the one more thing. And the logic emotion matrix, we want to get into that. It's where you can list out all your features and rank them. The 60-second problem close is where you're going to probe the problem, sell the dark times, introduce your solution, seal the deal. And then the one more thing, it's kind of classic Steve Jobs Apple style, where you think your audience thinks they've seen everything, you have given the impression that you've shown everything, and you're about to wrap up the show, and then you reveal one more thing, one more badass thing, and I'll show you guys how to do this. So first, when you're writing your script, when you're in your Google Doc or Notion, whatever it may be, you are outlining your script. We got to outline your script first. This starts with what we call the logic emotion matrix. Again, you are the startup founder. You have overseen the production of these features of this app, of the architecture, structure of it all, the flow, how it solves the problem. And you've gotten really into the weeds. You understand everything. You know every single feature. You've mapped out every single feature. You might have worked on every single feature in your app. So you kind of get a little bit detached from how your customers perceive it. You get a little detached, or maybe you just don't have the innate bone, like that marketing bone in your body to think how a customer would think, or how do we spin this to it so it sounds cool, or it's not a integrated database structured system. It's a simple integration machine. You're like, oh, that sounds way more approachable, or just like, how do you make something sound easy, approachable, and understandable to the regular person, someone who's not in tech, someone who's not in a startup world. So how you do the logic emotion matrix is first you want to take your little piece of paper or a grid paper, whatever it may be, and draw 3 columns. And the first column is you're going to list out every single feature in your app, or just at least the major ones. I know that could probably get a little overwhelming, but list out all your features on the left side. Then in the middle column, you're going to just simply describe what it does. No marketing speak, no trying to be cool, just plain Jane, what does it do? And then in the third column, this is where it really starts to reveal itself. You're going to ask, what emotional or psychological value does this feature offer? And I tell you to list out every single feature because it's hard to think about your entire company and be like, hey, what do you guys do? Or emotionally, what does your company solve or help with? And that can be very scary. But if you break it down to okay, this is a screenshot app that uses AI to generate awesome screenshots and make you look like a badass. Okay, cool. List out every single feature. And then you can look at that feature and go, what does this feature do? Okay, it does this. And then what is the emotion that a customer would feel using this feature or getting the success from this feature? Would it feel fast or easy or cheap, or they feel this sense of security, or they feel like they're getting more money from this, or they feel it's convenient? And then that's where you list it out, take a deep breath, take a break, go walk away for 30 minutes, walk away for a day, come back and look at these features. And then I want you to choose your top 4 to 6. 4 is probably your sweet spot, and really kind of lean into 4 features. 4 of your best features, 4 of your most badass features. They don't have to be the most unique, because sometimes maybe that's feature number 8, 9, and 10 that are unique. But what features really solve the problem? They kind of do a little kind of an 80-20 assessment of, out of these features, what's kind of if we were to put this on a poster and just list out the 4 features that we do, these are the kind of ones that we want to lead with. But this is how we're going to start to distill. We're not going to talk about everything in the app. We're not going to talk about every single thing that your app does. We're going to talk about just the very basics, the coolest, baddest, badassest one out there. So let me give you some examples. So the first one, let's talk a toaster oven, for example. Toaster oven, regular ass toaster oven that you said, a physical product. Here we go. This is how I would do it. So toaster oven, I'm going to list out all my features: multiple cooking functions, adjustable temperature control, timer with auto shut off, compact and space-saving design. Okay, those are the features. Multiple cooking functions. This allows you to toast, bake, and broil and reheat food. That is the simple, just plain what it does. What value it delivers? It provides versatility and convenience in a compact appliance. Adjustable temperature control lets you set precise temperatures for different recipes, ensures better cooking results and flexibility. So that means you have better recipes. That means you have convenience. You feel a sense of, okay, this is helping my life. This is enhancing my life. Timer with auto shut off sets timer durations. Like, this is very simple stuff. I know I'm like beating it over the head with you. But then what does the timer do? It offers peace of mind and prevents overcooking or burning. So a sense of security. That's nice. Let's do something. Let's do an app now. Calendly. Automated scheduling is the feature. What does it do? Allows others to book meetings based on your availability. What it delivers, the value that it delivers, is it saves time and eliminates the back and forth emails and scheduling. So it's a convenience. It's a time saver. A customizable calendar availability lets you set custom hours and blocks off time as needed. What value does it deliver? It provides control over your schedule and prevents double booking. So it's a convenience, it's a time saver, it's a sense of mastery over my domain. Like, I'm in control, I'm the business owner, I can like have, I can have control over my business. So that's kind of nice. I think you get it. And then there's an ARC one. Guys, if you want this whole slideshow, I will grab the link down below and try to link it to you. But if you scroll in the description actually of this and you find Product Hunt video script, or if you go to niceslicestudio.com and go all the way down to the bottom, click on training, and you'll find our Product Hunt script, you can have this slide right here. You can have all the training as well. Also, if you want to watch the replay to this, maybe you're watching this right now here on YouTube and you can't make it or you can't watch the entire thing, there's a link right down below that says watch the replay for free. Click on that link and that will take you to our Whop page. Everything is on Whop. The events, our chat, all the training. This right here, you can grab this as well. Click it down below and you just add your email. It's totally free, no credit card, and you can get access to this stuff and watch it anytime for your references. You don't have to just watch it here. Because after this goes on YouTube here, it's going to go unlisted. It's going to go private. You're not going to be able to find it or access it. So go click down below and access it right here. Rod says he wants the writing script slides. Click the link down below. Or Rod, I got you. I'll send you in the chat, actually. Okay. Step number 1. Probe the problem. This is me solving my own problem. This is me solving somebody else's problem. Feels pretty good, right? Okay. Here's step 1. Now we're going to actually write the script. You want to probe. You want to agitate. You want to forecast the dark times. Answer these questions for me. What challenges does your target audience face? What are they dealing with right now on a daily basis? And what's like the most immediate pain that they feel? What are some common relatable situations where this problem occurs? What solutions have they tried in the past? So this isn't the first time that they've tried to lose weight. This isn't the first time that they've tried to get a six-pack. So what have they done in the past to try to solve this? What exercise, what programs, what diets have they tried in the past? You need to be aware of all that stuff. You need to be aware of the solutions that your customers have tried in the past so that, 1, you can relate to them. Be like, hey, I've been there. I know what you're going through. And 2, you can kind of keep a sense of like, are we actually solving the problem? It's not exactly a competitor analysis, but it's knowing like, hey, I know you've tried jogging before, but have you tried weightlifting? And just knowing like all these solutions that they've tried or have thought about is going to make your script just like sing. We want it to really resonate. Like, wow, you're in my head. Wow, how did you know that I did this before? How did you know I'd already tried this? And then finally, how will things get worse if they don't solve this problem? Be visual. If the easiest one is always like, hey, you're gaining 10 pounds or you're 10 pounds overweight. Okay, you're gaining 10 pounds. Well, if you put this off for a year, well, then you're going to gain another 10 pounds. And then you're going to be 20 pounds overweight. And then if you put it off another year, you'll be 30 pounds overweight or more. So why not solve the problem now and only lose 10 pounds as opposed to having to wait, push it off, and lose 30, 40, 50 pounds? You know what I mean? So that's like, wow, I should actually solve this problem now. Like, paint the picture of what their life will look like if they don't solve this problem. You have to be really dark. You have to be pretty visual. Then step 2 in the script is you introduce your product. You're going to say hello. So say the name of your product, what it does in 1 sentence. Very simple. And remember, we only have 90 seconds. So like every sentence is valuable in this entire thing. You're going to highlight, remember, take your features that you got from the logic emotion matrix. We have 4 features here. I want you to grab feature number 1, feature number 3, and feature number 4. Now roll with me on this. Leave out feature number 2 for now. You're going to, hello, what's going on? Our product is this. It does X, Y, Z. let's start with this first feature. You don't literally have to say, let's start with this first feature, but our first thing is this. Then our next thing is this. Our next thing is this. You go through all those 4 features, what it does, quickly show how it solves the problem, talk about the problems that it addresses, provide simple examples, how each feature works. We only have 90 seconds, so keep it pretty brief. When you're writing these scripts, too, one quick tip on the side is to read these scripts out loud. Because, 1, it's just for great proofreading and editing, but 2, you are going to have to read this script out loud yourself on camera, so you have to kind of figure out what the timing is. Like, have your phone out, have a timer out, and read the script out loud and see how long the script is or how long this section is. Share a real-world use case for each feature. Don't just talk about a feature in a vacuum, in an outer space. Talk about it like, if you are, whatever, I can't think of a feature right now, but talk about what the feature does, real-world example, the problem it solves, and then how someone can use it out in the real world. Then step 3. Now we're moving on to step 3. We're making good time. This is where you take feature number 2. Go grab feature number 2. So you've gone through your entire presentation. Introduce the product, features 1, features number 2, and features number 3, and how they all work. Now we're about 60 seconds into the video out of 90 seconds. Then you're going to do what Apple does, and Apple is great at this. They do this entire Apple conference, hours and hours of material, hours and hours of features, hours and hours of products. You think you've seen everything. You think you have, wow, this is huge. All the stuff, they do a quick little summary, they do a little bento box, and you're like, this is amazing. And then Steve Jobs, or then, Tim Cook pulls out something out of his back pocket and goes, and we have one more thing, or literally one more thing. So this was from WWDC 2023. I'll grab some audio here.
One more thing.
One more thing.
This is a day that's been years in the making, one that I've really been looking forward to. I believe that augmented reality is a profound technology. Blending digital content with the real world can unlock experiences like nothing we've ever seen. One more. So today, I'm excited to announce an entirely new AR platform with a revolutionary new product.
Okay, so he's talking about Vision Pro, which this has not aged very well. Their product is totally busted now. But they do this one more thing. They do this, we've got just one more thing. You think you've seen everything, all the iPads, MacBooks, everything, and they do one more thing, and it's actually, so this is where for you are going to introduce feature number 2. Feature number 1, the reason we do this is because feature number 1, your biggest, baddest, sexiest feature, you're going to put that out there to keep people watching your video. Then you hit them with feature number 3, feature number 4, and then you do the one more thing. And I say to do feature number 2 in terms of ranking of what's the coolest is because if you were just to finish with a feature number 4 or feature number 3, it kind of peters out. Or if you were to build it up and say, we've got one more thing, and it's this half-ass or like it's a very like menial feature, it's not going to have the same effect. So you need to strip out feature number 2, put it at the very end of your script, and that way it still seems cool. It's cooler than feature 3 and 4. Not as cool as feature number 1. That was the like headliner, but it's still something to just jack people up just a little bit more. I've got this little graph here. This is kind of like how I see it. So the y-axis here is attention. So the higher you go up, more attention they have. And the x-axis is the time in your video. So this is 0 all the way to 90 seconds here on the right side. You talk about feature number 1, so attention goes up, everyone's excited. Feature number 3, we're starting to crest a little bit, okay. And then feature number 4, people are starting to get it, so they're getting a little sleepy in the video. I mean, granted, I know it's just 90 seconds, and our attention span is super thin. But feature number 4, okay, whatever. But then you spike it back up, and you say, hey, we've got one more thing, and that sends people through the roof, and it gets people excited. And you want people excited at the end of your video as well as you want at the beginning of the video. You want to have some dynamics in your video because at the very end is where we are going to sell the video. And I might be getting ahead of myself in the slides, but if you pump them up with one more thing, they just get this adrenaline rush of how cool is this? This is so awesome. And we ride that excitement to the call to action at the very end where we're going to sell our product. We're going to tell people what to do next. So let's figure out what is your standout feature that is your secret sauce How does this feature give your users a unique advantage? Does this feature address any objections or concerns that a user might have throughout the video? You should be addressing and popping what I call popping objection little bubbles, the objection bubbles. And then step 4, now that we've got people on that high, you are going to seal the deal. You're going to put the ball in the hole. So be clear. Don't be clever. This is not your time to have some cool catchphrase, or this is not the time where you blow all your video animation budget at the very end. Just tell people what to do as simply as possible. And I don't just mean go to niceslicestudio.com. I mean, like, go to this here, click this button, click the download button, sign up for a free account, and do XYZ. And then you will get a blank in your inbox. Like, it should be the most explicit, laid out, plain as day instructions on what to do next, because people are going to get lost. You tell them just go to yourwebsite.com. Now they're on the homepage and they're lost. Like, where do I go? Or even like, hey, click the button that says this, or go this, or click this link down below, and this will go straight to checkout. Make it as simple as possible, because you've got those people ready to go. They're excited. They just saw feature number 2 and they're just like shooting through the roof. I wrote this here. You're not a Fortune 500 company. You are not, this is not a Super Bowl commercial. You are not trying to win any design awards. And don't assume that people get it. Don't assume it. Like, I see so many product videos, especially for in the startup world, and especially on Product Hunt. They just end the video with their logo. And this is what I mean by like Fortune 500 company. Like, McDonald's can end their commercial with the McDonald's logo. Apple can end their commercial with the Apple logo. They don't have to say, go to apple.com/this and download and get our new iPad 2024. They just have to show the logo. You don't have that kind of luxury. You have not spent $1 billion on branding and marketing. You have to say, go to niceslicestudio/checkout and get this. It should be as the most simple thing. Sure, your logo can go at the very end. I don't think your logo matters that much. I don't think your customers even know that you had a logo until now. So tell them exactly what to do. I'm being I'm harping on this right now because everything else is nice. How we've structured this script is nice. How we talk to our customers is nice. But if you don't seal the deal, if you don't get people to buy, then who cares? They saw your video. They watched halfway through the video. They click, like, you have a high click-through rate. Who cares? Like, did somebody watch this video and buy? Yes or no? No? Okay, we got to fix something. So it's the call to action is the place where you're going to seal the deal. Okay, the end of the video should be crystal clear. What to do next? How can I get it? How can I get the thing? And how easy is it to get started? That's the last thing to add. Like, people are a little weary. People, like, they want to know, is this right for me? Should I be doing this? What's going to happen? Is this a scam? Okay. Let me know in the chat, guys, if you have any questions. Rod, Mike, you guys are here. What's up? Let's finish this off with some 10 scripting mistakes. We've talked about the video mistakes in general that a lot of founders come across. But now as you you understand, you have all the bones and the structure of how to write your script. Here's some things to watch out for. Mistake number 1 is starting at the beginning of the story instead of the moment of highest frustration. It's easy when you talk about the problem to say, like, it was a normal day for Johnny. He woke up this morning, he walked down the stairs, and he made himself a bowl of cereal. And then something happens. It should, like, skip all that shit and just go straight to, like, and then he had a problem. It should go start at the problem. You don't see, like, think of, what's a good commercial? Like, a Pepto-Bismol commercial that talks about, like, indigestion. They don't see, like, Mike and his wife were driving to the restaurant, and they decided to stop at the Chinese restaurant, and then they ordered Chinese food. It's just like, no, you have it's like, he's driving home and he has indigestion. You start right there. You start in the moment of pain. You don't have to lead up and give all this context and fluff of, like, oh, here's, like, just go into the pain, right? Just cut right to it. You only have 60 to 90 seconds, and that's not a lot of time. We got to cut right to it. Mistake number 2 I see is showing off numbers before making viewers feel the pain. Nobody cares about a 93% of users save time until they see how much time that they are wasting. You have to lay it out. You kind of have to state your case. You have to go back to middle school English, high school English, where you're making an argument. And that's really what a sales pitch is. You are making an argument as to you're presenting a logical thing in front of somebody and say, like, if this, then this, and if this all makes sense, and if you agree with all this, then the only conclusion is that you need this. That's basically what we're doing. That is sales. That's copywriting. You're just making logical statements and logical arguments to people. So but first you have to go into the emotions. You have to give them a foundation of feeling the pain. If you just start with stats and go just data heavy number crunching, thinking like that's really going to scare them, it doesn't really. Like a data point, a statistic is always a nice to have. I try to delete statistic out of, like, I don't, when somebody's, it's like, you will gain an extra $30,000 if you do this. It's like, it just doesn't hit for me. It's not enough to compel me. But if you make me feel the pain, I'd rather feel the pain of loss than to feel the, like, a number that I'm going to get or a number that I'm going to gain. Mistake number 3. Let's keep moving. Hiding your wow moment before basic features. This is an order problem. So again, go through your list, find the baddest, coolest, sexiest feature. That's your headline feature. Don't start slow or start with the small baby features, the minor features, and then think you're going to build up to the baddest features. Like they're going to watch to the very end. It's like, no, they're not. They are not going to watch to the very end. You've got to hit them on the head, hit them with the headline, and start with the fireworks, and then you can tell them a little bit more about the vegetables, meat, and potatoes. First, you got to hit them with dessert. Mistake number 4. Switching metaphors midway through. This is just a quick, easy mistake that a lot of founders, they're trying to be clever. They're trying to, like, not feel repetitive, or maybe they used ChatGPT for this, and ChatGPT is giving you some conflicts. If you call it a personal assistant in your app, in your script, and then halfway through, don't start calling it the command center. Be consistent. Keep the consistent naming convention. Don't change it up. Don't try to be clever. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Say one thing. You only got 90 seconds, so just say the same thing over and over if you have to. Mistake number 5, making viewers calculate the benefit. Oh, should have wrote there. Say, making viewers calculate the benefit. This is for the nerds out there. This is for the statisticians out there. This is for the coder developers out there. If you're listening right now, if you're the technical founder and you just live in numbers, we're dumb out here. We can barely do mental math out here. So don't hit me over the head with 39.7% of people do this. Just say 1 in 3 people. Like, don't just round down, round up. Give me big numbers. Give me numbers that end in 0, or just, don't say it turns a 3-hour job into 1 hour instead of saying it reduces time by 67%. Like, dude, what are we doing? Just say it like the dumb guy. Just be as dumb as possible. This is like, go back to 3rd grade and give me the 3rd grade version of this. Mistake number 6, jumping straight to solutions without showing the mess first. Again, this is the same thing about talking about stats before you go into, you have to talk about the problem first. You have to show people the horror, the mess, the dark and stormy, the car crash before you can fix everything. It has to be a before and after. This is classic 80s fitness infomercials. If it was like a guy who had a 4-pack go to a 6-pack, not that impressive. But a guy that's obese, overweight going to a 6-pack, that's amazing. This product is revolutionary. You have to show them the mess. Like, you have to dig into the dark times before you can show them the positive results, because the positive results won't feel that different. Mistake number 7, talking about smaller benefits before solving the main problem. If people buy to save time, don't open up with, again, you have to know what you're selling. You have to know the problem, the big main problem that you're solving, or that your entire company solves, and then talk a little bit more about what am I saying? Talk a little bit more about the smaller benefits later. Mistake number 8, dropping social proof at the start instead of using it as a backup. I see this on websites a lot too, and people think they'd take a website and translate it into a video script. Don't start your script off like, over 1 million people have said yes to this. It's like, who cares? Said yes to what? So it's like, you don't lead with the social proof, or you lead with like a testimonial, or like, that was Jan. Jan just used our product and she was able to do blah, blah, blah. You're like, what are we talking about? What's the product? What's the pain point? I don't care. Social proof should be saved toward the end. Social proof is to back up your argument. It should not be the front of your argument. Mistake number 9, using weak words like can and could for your main features. Be bold. Like, make cool claims, make claims you can back up. Don't say has the potential to do. Just use stronger language. Use more direct language. Don't say it has the possibility that it can possibly maybe change your life. Like, no, this will change your life. Just say that. Just cut to it. Don't worry. Like, you're thinking like a lawyer too much. Just make the claim that it can do it. And finally, mistake number 10, not tying every feature back to the main problem. I know you made that list of 6, 10, 12, 20 features in your logic emotion matrix, but you have to choose the ones that actually solve the main problem. Like, you can't just choose a feature that's cool, or choose a feature that you're kind of proud of, or choose a feature that you spent a lot of time on that doesn't connect back to the main product, that doesn't connect back to, is this solving my problem? So if you're selling peace of mind, every feature should tie back to peace of mind. If you're saving time, if Calendly is convenience and saving time, every feature that you talk about in your commercial should be swirling around and reinforcing and finding another way to attack that problem. That's mistake number 10. Downloads and examples. Here's some stuff that you can get access to here. Again, click the link down below and you can get access to this. If you guys are already in the Whop community, I will post this in the chat to get access to it. You can fill out this worksheet. This is like how, once you get access to this, go through this, spend 10 to 15 minutes on it, and this just gives you some clarity on, it's just questions that someone probably has never asked you before, that you're going to feel like just taking a brain dump. They just like this relief. You're going to be you probably have some brain constipation about your product because you haven't really been able to communicate or talk about how you feel about your product. Go through this worksheet here and answer some of these questions, and you're going to find like, oh shit, I didn't even know that's a great angle. That's another way I can talk about my feature. Super helpful. Go through this stuff, the script foundation workshop. And then here is the script template. I try to give you all that context. I try to give you everything that you need to know. If you want this script template, click the link down below. You can watch this. Again, I will post this in the Whop chat as well. And I'll show you this right here. You can get it later, guys. Come on, if you want to see the real script template, you can get it here. And I'll flash it on screen real quick. It gives you everything that you need to know how to write your script. There you go. Free if you want to. I even wrote some sample scripts here for Apple Vision Pro. And let's talk last. We're about to wrap up the show. Guys, if you have any questions about anything that I just talked about, drop it in the chat. Let's see. Let's talk about some power words. There's just some, like, these aren't really, it's just some more fluff for the show now. Probe the problem. Some great ways to say it, like, hey, you're trapped in a world of, you're constantly wrestling with. If you're tired of common problem, then when you introduce your solution, here's some ways to say it. Say hello to blank. Our product revolutionizes the way that you blank. Or with product name, you can finally blank. Don't feel like you got to reinvent the wheel. Do some of this stuff. This is all pulled from some award-winning product hunt videos. One more thing. This is for the one more thing section. But here's the game chamber. But wait, or just simple, but wait, there's more. The classic infomercial. And now for I wouldn't do this one. If someone makes this, and now for the pièce de résistance, like, do it. Please do it. But we saved the best for last. That's probably a classic safe one. And then finally, for sealing the deal, how to bring it home while also sounding cool, while also, don't miss your chance to, or embrace the future of blank with our product. Take the first step towards blank, solving that problem. Join the revolution today and get blank, our product. Go to blankblankblank.com and check out here. So those are the things. Guys, if you want to, I've included some examples here. This is an insane document for you guys, all ready to go, all access to you for free. Click the link down below. Guys, if you want to talk more, if you want to book a call with me, if you want to pitch your product, pitch your strategy, pitch your script to me, take this document, go to the very bottom, and book a free call. We can chat. This is not a sales call. This is just two founders going back and forth, trying to figure out what's the best way to talk about your product. What's the best way to communicate? How do we write the script? And what are the next steps? What should we be doing next, Jordan? What should we be watching out for? You can book that all right here. Get access to this document. It's at the very bottom. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Jordan P. Anderson. Later.